Well, welcome everyone to part one of Impact San Antonio's 2023 agency training. I want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm Elizabeth Gerritsen. I serve as the VP of Operations on the Impact San Antonio Board of Directors. We host this agency training every spring, and our training is split into two different parts. I'll explain a little bit more about that shortly. By now, you're probably experts at using Zoom, but we'd like to provide just a few notes on getting the most out of this session. First off, we recommend that you set your Zoom screen layout to speaker view. We do want to let you know that if you're using a call-in number to listen in today, instead of logging on to a computer, you won't be able to see our slides. We'd ask that you please help us avoid disruptions by remaining on mute with your video turned off throughout the session, and that you use the chat function to communicate with us. If you run into any technical issues, if you'll just send a private chat message to technical support, Jen Bly will assist you. And then lastly, in our experience, a lot of technical issues can be resolved simply by leaving the meeting and then rejoining the Zoom. So let's talk about asking questions. We encourage you to ask questions as you think of them throughout the session, again, using the public chat function, and then we'll make sure that we're addressing these during the Q&A session at the end. We'd also like you to please refrain from using the public chat to communicate with each other, as that can be really distracting to our other participants. So now I'd like to introduce the other key members of our Impact San Antonio board, the ones who are specifically involved in what we call our end-to-end process. Co-chairing agencies and applications are Jenny McNaughton and Tony Reister-Wood, and they'll be your primary contacts throughout this entire application process this year. Also with us today are Ann Leday and Yvonne Grotus. They serve as our co-chairs of grant review, and these ladies lead our member volunteers through the review of your project applications. Audrey Laird and Carol Lee are co-chairs for grant oversight and outcomes. They have the task of working with grant recipients from immediately after grants are awarded on grant award night through to completion of grant projects, as well as outcomes reporting. Also joining us today are Shirley Bennett, our treasurer, and Jen Bly, our technology lead. As treasurer, Shirley helps ensure that we're gathering and analyzing the most appropriate financial information through our application process. And then Jen oversees all the systems we use, including the grant management system. And again, my role is VP of Operations, and I have the great privilege of working with all of these extraordinary women. Today, we'll be asking you a few questions to keep things interactive. So throughout the session, a question will pop up on your screen. Jen will give you a couple seconds to answer that, and then she'll post the results on screen. And just to be clear, all of your responses will be anonymous. So let's try our first question. Have you participated in any Impact San Antonio agency training in the past? Just take a moment to respond. Okay, so we're a little bit more than half have participated in the past. So we want to say welcome to all of you, both the folks who've been with us in the past and those folks that are new. Some of you, it may be your 15th time through the process. We are just excited that you're all here. So let's take a quick look at our agenda. Agency training is split into two pieces to align with a two-step application process. Our goal is to provide the information you need close to when you actually need it. Today, we'll briefly cover the overall Impact San Antonio grant process. We'll then focus more specifically on step one, the organizational questionnaire, and our review of the organizational and financial readiness of all applicants. Part two of our training will be held on May 10th. There, we'll provide you guidance on the project application, which is our step 2, as well as our grant review process, all the way through to grant award night. And I just want to let you know that these slides, as well as an audio recording of today's presentation, will be posted on our Impact San Antonio website no later than April 10th. Now, for those of you who may not be as familiar with Impact San Antonio, let me introduce you. What makes Impact SA unique? Well, we're a group of like-hearted women who come together for the shared purpose of helping our community. Each membership contributes $1,000 for the year, and 100% of that $1,000 goes toward funding significant grants. We don't use it to cover operating expenses. A woman can join as an individual member for $1,000, or 2 women can join together to form what we call a shared membership. Individual member contributions are then pooled to create sizable grants of $100,000 each. Our process to choose grant recipients involves volunteer impact members engaging in a rigorous process to determine which project proposals they believe will deliver the greatest impact. Each agency finalist then creates a video presentation about their particular project. And in October, these presentations are made available to the full Impact San Antonio membership, who then cast their votes to determine which projects will be selected for high impact grants. Our goal is to be able to award high impact grants in each of our 5 focus areas. Now let's review our Impact San Antonio focus areas. Arts and culture focuses on improving the culture and artistic climate of the community. Education covers increasing access and improving educational opportunities. Environment, recreation, and preservation, which we fondly refer to as ERP, includes both conserving and revitalizing the natural environment, as well as improving recreational facilities and preserving historic sites. Family focuses on strengthening the lives of children and families. And lastly, health and wellness focus area includes grants that positively impact the mental or physical health of area residents. Now for our second question. Have you applied for an Impact San Antonio grant before? Give you just another second here to respond. All right, so about 2/3 of you have applied in the past. Well, let's talk about the impact that our grants make. So since 2005, Impact San Antonio has awarded over $5.3 million in grants. But of greater importance are the meaningful outcomes that our area nonprofits have been able to deliver as a result of those grants. In addition to delivering new and improved services, programs, and facilities, as well as serving more clients in need, past recipients have also shared that being an Impact SA grant recipient has served as a springboard for additional funding and expanded partnerships. These are just a few photos showing projects and programs of past grant recipients in action. In 2023, there will be no changes to the structure of our grants. High impact grants will continue to be $100,000 each. There are 3 funding categories: new programs, expanding existing programs, and capital investments, construction projects. In the grant application, 10% or $10,000 of every project budget is automatically allocated to indirect costs or overhead and does not need to be explained. Finally, we'll begin distributing our 2023 grant funds in November, and our recipients will have 2 years to implement their projects. This picture puts the two-step application process in context of the overall grant timeline. You'll have until Friday, April 21st at 5 p.m. to submit your agency's organizational questionnaire in step 1. And you're going to hear us be broken records about this, but please do not wait until the last day to submit any of your applications. You'll be notified of the results of the readiness review by May 3rd. And then part 2 of our training is scheduled to take place on May 10th. Beginning May 3rd, eligible applicants will have until Friday, May 26th at 5 p.m. to submit a project application in step 2. And then our grant review teams will work throughout the summer to review and evaluate all project proposals. We'll announce grant finalists in September and culminate the year with grant award night in October. Now I'll hand the program over to Jenny to share more about our 2023 grant application process.